Hi everyone, you are welcome to my YouTube channel Asperia K Wogabaga. Now in today's video it's going to be a little different. I have a visitor and she's going to tell us a story, and this story is a bit emotional. It's a sad story, but at the end of it you're going to learn a lesson. Please give us your attention. If you haven't yet subscribed, click subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's get started. So, my dear, you're welcome to the channel.
Thank you. My name is Mbabazi Doreen. Feeling so grateful to be hosted today. And I am here to talk to you about my story of life after hysterectomy. I can explain.
Wow. So today we are going to talk about medical terms.
Yes.
You said what?
Hysterectomy.
I don't want to bite myself.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Yes, Doreen, you're welcome to the channel. I heard your story, I read your story, and I can tell you it's an emotional story. And every woman out there going through a lot. Maybe you've gone through a challenge, you feel your challenge is the biggest you have ever seen. You need to listen to Doreen. She has something to tell you. So Doreen, tell us something about yourself.
Thank you. My name is Mbabazi Doreen. I've already said I'll be celebrating my 30th birthday on 31st of this month.
Hey!
You guys are all welcome. I can't wait for that day. I feel honored and grateful to God that He has brought me to this far. Actually, I thank God for the gift of life.
Wow.
If you will listen through this story, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Feeling very excited and happy about my 30th year.
Wow. That's good. But you look young. You mean you're turning 30?
Yeah, I am.
These days don't want to tell us their years, but we are glad Mbabazi is able to tell us that she's 30, but she looks cute and hot. You know, you look good.
Wow, thank you.
So Doreen, I read about your story, and it's not for people with weak blood vessels. So we can go through it and let someone learn something.
I've already told you myself, my name and so on. So I finished school 2018. I studied Bachelor of Business Administration. I specialized in accounting. So when I finished school, I got married. Actually, the story begins, I guess so. The story begins. So I said I want to tell you a story of my life after hysterectomy. Hysterectomy is a medical term. It means a surgical procedure to remove a uterus. Of course, a uterus is part of the body. It's only women who have it. And that's where a baby grows from when a woman is pregnant. So what you're going to listen to today is about my own was removed and then what happened after. So I got my boyfriend. We were together for some time. I took him home. We got married. I went also to his home and we started staying together.
Okay.
So the story begins when I first got pregnant. This was around 2018. And then at 6 months I had a miscarriage.
Wow, sorry.
I went to the hospital, but the medical personnel explained and said it was because I had traveled for so long. I had moved. I had a lot of movements then. There is some work that I was doing and required me to be moving a lot. So after that, of course, we continued staying, but that was so sad, so bad to us.
So bad, yeah.
We stayed together, and then later, around 2019, towards the end, I conceived the second time. Yes. Now, this pregnancy was okay.
Okay.
Throughout the pregnancy was okay. I did my antenatals up to the last hour. So we had been staying at somewhere where my husband was working from. That's where we were staying. So when time for giving birth reached, he sent me home to come and deliver from home. So I came and we went to the hospital. I went to the hospital. At first I came with my young sister, and then later on my mom joined us.
In the hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
Now at the hospital, time for giving birth reached, of course, like any other person, when you're coming to a hospital, you are expecting good news throughout the whole 9 months and all that. You're expecting. So likewise, I was too expectant.
Yes.
Likewise, the people who are with me were too expectant, like about my baby, and that was going to be my first baby. Just know the imagination was too much. So when we reached the hospital, we stayed there. I think it was like for one night, and the following night in the evening. So they came, they checked me, they gave me the medicine, that medicine for inducing.
For inducing labor, or for augmenting labor. When you're already in labor, and then they give you so that labor will increase.
It was for starting.
Okay.
I had not started, but I was already in the mood.
You're feeling some pains.
So they gave me. When they gave me, labor started shortly. It was coming heavily, and then I had started pushing. Then the midwife tells me that, you know what, stop pushing, we are going to operate you.
How was that in that situation?
I don't know.
You're already in labor, you're already pushing.
Yes.
And someone stops you.
Yes, the midwife said, stop pushing, they are going to operate you. So I did not understand what the problem was. So
you're already pushing, she tells
me stop pushing, we are going to operate you.
That's very painful.
It's very.
The labor was so much?
Yeah, it was coming so much. It would come, a lot of it. I felt the pain. I was like, you people. And then she's like, you know what, we are going to operate you. So they put me on that bed and they, for theater they dressed me in that gown when they are taking you for operation, and then they injected me that medicine which makes you numb. When they injected me, now I was on the bed so weak. I could feel the baby trying, but I had no energy. Meanwhile, the midwife who had already told me to stop pushing would come monitoring to tell me to stop pushing, to close the legs. So I waited, and then later on I was taken to the theater. Then the operation was going on, and then I had someone say the baby has already died. That was so sad.
First, wait. Was that a recognized hospital?
Yeah, it was.
Were you examined by the doctor before the surgery?
Not before the surgery. Before I started the labor, there was a doctor who came and saw me. He would come and see me.
Did he explain like why you needed to be operated?
Before they took me to the theater, there was no explanation. Actually, the doctor who had seen me when I was going to start the labor was not around when the midwife was telling me that I'm going to be operated. For him, when he told them, I guess he left for another ward, or he went to see other patients. I don't know, but what I remember was the doctor came, saw me. When the doctor went, had told this midwife to give me that inducing medicine. And then it started from there. Then the pushing started. And then later on, the pushing was starting like at around 3, 4, 5 there. Then I was this midwife telling me to start pushing and prepare for operation. So now they take me to the theater, and then after some hours I hear someone say the baby has already died. When I was in the theater, I was unconscious. I could only hear what everyone else was saying, but I couldn't talk.
Okay.
I was unconscious. I could hear everyone say touch this, touch that, but I was too weak to say anything. Then later on we came out of the theater. Now,
after you hearing that the baby is already
dead, yes, after some other more minutes or hours, because I was unconscious, I could only hear, but I couldn't know what is happening. But when they say the baby had died, I wanted to say something, but I was too weak.
So sorry.
So they brought me out of the theater, and when they had brought me out shortly, then I heard someone say, we are going to you sign here, we are taking you back to the theater, you are over bleeding. But I was too weak. Then they said someone held my hand and supported me to sign
on the paper.
I could feel myself saying I can sign, but I could not understand.
Why
and I
you
was
signing?
too weak to ask a lot of questions. But someone told me, you are over bleeding, we are going to take you back
To theater.
to the theater.
That was shortly after you were brought to the ward.
Yes. I was not even, when they brought me back from the theater, they took me to some private room. There were so many people, but in me, I was feeling so weak and I couldn't recognize anyone around me. But I knew there are some people here. I could feel there are some people, there's something going on. So they took me back to the theater. Now that second time was the time for removing the uterus. Now, I came out of the theater, I think it was like 4 a.m.
Oh, it was a long surgery.
Yeah, it was long. And when they brought me to the theater, now that story of me being brought out at around 4 was told to me because I was too unconscious. From there, they took me to ICU. Now, at ICU, I was in coma for 3 days. But when I was still in coma, my husband comes around and I was awake and I'm seeing the whole body was wired. Blood, water, blood, water. Then my husband comes and stands near the bed where I was lying and tells me, they have removed your uterus and the baby died.
That was what he said.
Yeah, that was what he told me. Well, he's like, actually he told me a lot of things there.
But that's what you heard.
What I heard was that I lost the uterus and the baby died.
This man, was he wasn't he empathetic or something?
No, he just came to talk to me. I was just out of coma. I mean, I was badly off. And when I opened my eyes, I couldn't turn myself. I couldn't raise an arm.
Yes.
I couldn't even turn the head. Comes, stands, my bed was a bit raised, stands next and says, they've removed the uterus, even the baby died. He added on the conversation was big, but I was not able to respond. Actually, that took me back to where I had come from.
That was so bad.
That was really so bad for me, and it was something too bad for me to hear. I remember I said, this is the worst thing that has happened to me so far. I couldn't add on other words. It was so bad. Then when I was out of coma, the doctor comes and tells me, Mamazi, we are taking you back to the theater.
Again,
the third time. Now this time around, I had started talking, but not well. I was weak, so weak. Then I was now feeling, because from the time they took me to that place, ICU, actually, I saw many people being brought before my eyes and died. But I couldn't do anything about it. In my mind, I thought I had also died. That's why I was seeing dead people.
sorry.
But I wasn't dead. I was still alive, but the condition was too critical. So what happens? The doctor tells me, you know what? We are taking you back to the theater, but don't worry. This time around, it is something so short, and since you survived the other two, this is nothing. So,
But at that point, did the doctor tell you why again they were taking you for the third time?
This time when we were still out, the doctor did not tell me why he's taking me, just told me we are taking you to the theater, don't worry. It is now when we reached to the theater, there is that doctor who came to work on me, the one who told me. Now, because I was asking, but you people, you have taken me so many times to the theater, I was worried, and I actually started crying now before we entered. But my mom was there, my young sisters were there, and some auntie of mine was there. So they talked to me. They told me that it's okay now. You let them work on you. It's the last time they are operating you. Don't worry. So when entered, that doctor came. He told me that, Babazi, there are some things that we put inside your stomach. But for him, he didn't say we have removed your uterus. He said there are some things that we packed there. But of course, when he talked like that, I connected to the message which my husband had already given me. I'm like, okay. It's like, there are some things that we are going to remove. This one is not painful. It is just the last one. We are not doing any other. Remember, these people are cutting the same place where they
have already stitched.
Good. Where they had already stitched is where they were cutting. Of course, now would they cut the whole body? So where they had stitched is where they were cutting, and now this was the third time. So I went there. The doctor speaks to me and he tells me, Mbabazi, don't worry. This is so simple. We are just removing the things that we packed inside your stomach. It was not easy, but then they started injecting that medicine again. I felt this pain more than any other.
So you felt a lot of pain this time?
I felt the pain. Actually, the doctor was injecting me here because the veins had been blocked. Like, I would feel the whole pain, and then they started removing the things. I'm like, oh my God, what can I do? But these people were even happy that I could feel the pain. Because I alone, I wasn't feeling it. I couldn't feel anything. This time around, I said, I'm feeling the pain. Then they worked on me, and then that surgery was done. Then from that surgery, I was on ward for about 1.5 to 2 weeks. Now, this whole time, I was getting better every day physically. The wound was drying, and I was trying to gain energy. I was starting now to feed. I want to eat. I want to drink water. Like, I had started coming back to life. But firstly, honestly, they allow me to thank the Red Cross Society for supporting blood donation.
Wow.
That very moment, I realized how important donated blood is, because I don't remember how many liters of blood they added to my body to help me come back to life.
I think you overbled.
Yes, they told me right from the theater that all the blood that they were putting as it comes out. Actually, that's why they had to remove the uterus, because I was over bleeding. Then they went to check where the problem is.
So removing your uterus was to save your life.
It was to save my life. I was dying. Like when they operated me, there was a rupture, and then that part kept over. Yeah, and then they could not control it. Now I had already lost the baby, and now I was also dying. So the only way to save my life was to remove the uterus. And now the blood which had already gone. But even before I came to the hospital, by the way, during antenatal, I had little blood. The blood was not enough from the start.
Okay.
So this time around, when it was explained to me that you didn't have blood, I could relate.
Understand.
I knew right from the start my blood was too little. So they added a lot of blood to me, and I'm really thankful to whoever brought blood donation.
So a shout out to the Red Cross Society.
Wow. I'm so glad my life was saved by this blood which was added to me. So
this is an encouragement to us. We should always go and donate.
Actually, everyone out
you're
there,
saving out there.
yes. You do not know who you are saving. I was saved just like that. Just imagine there was no blood here. The old blood which was in the hospital, which could come to my blood group, was used, and it was done. Then my doctor had to run somewhere, bring another blood, lots of liters of blood, and then they add it to me. I am really grateful to the Uganda Red Cross Society concerning blood donation, and I want to encourage everyone out there to go and donate. Even me, if I find myself capable.
What they call it, what? The tube they put here, they think it's too big and painful.
It could be, but you do not know how many lives or a life you could save Yeah, like you saved mine. And thank you very much. So from there, I was at the hospital for about 1.5 to 2 weeks. Then they discharged me.
So the Doreen's story is really long, and we can't really have it in one video. So we are going to have the second part of the story in the next video. Please stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed, turn on the notification bell, and you'll be notified immediately I upload that video. Thank you so much. For now, it's a goodbye.